How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Another crypto exchange is suspending USD withdrawals. We have to talk about this, talk about whether you should be worried or not, talk about how we can hedge ourselves in times like this, and cover a lot of the other news in the market because there is a good amount of news here today. Now, I do want to say, in case I'm a little bit tired or I mumble a little bit, I had to spend overnight in the ER in the hospital. Not me personally, but my wife. Everything's okay now, but I just wanted to give you a little heads up that I might be a little bit off today, but we're going to get through this. Everything's fine with my wife. So she said that, I could make a video here. So let's go through some of the top news. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button underneath the video. That does help out the channel a lot. And there's also a link down there in case you want to try out moomoo. They do allow you to buy and sell cryptocurrencies and stocks. They'll give you up to 17 free stocks if you use that link underneath the video. If you're anyone that wants a free $30,000 to $30,000, you can try out that link. There's also a link down there to Margex in case you're someone that wants to trade on cryptocurrency. You want to trade leverage. You want to leverage trade your cryptocurrency. So the market is looking a little bit better here today. I mean, it's pretty much sideways, right, for the last 24 hours, but Bitcoin's moved up a little bit here today. It was up to about 22,600. Some other cryptocurrencies are, plus or minus 2%. Not too much movement here, but we are seeing a good day in the stock market with the NASDAQ up about 1%. Now, I think there's one major reason for this, but there could be a lot of other things contributing to this as well. But Truflation, the U.S. Truflation metric, has been continuously coming down. So if you don't know what this is a way of, or this is a website that basically looks at a lot of different data points and puts them all into one true inflation metric. So they aggregate real market prices from merchants, research institutions, and commercial data providers. And this is a little bit more accurate, I think, than, the looking at the past, like the CPI prints, right? Those are always backward-facing metrics. They don't show what's actually happening today even. Now, this has been continuously moving down. Just a few days ago, it was at 4.96. It's the first time below 5%. You can see here the trend. The Truflation was higher than the CPI was back in April 2022. I don't remember exactly where we were on CPI, but I remember the peak was, 8 or 9%. And this was showing 12% back in April. And then it's all the way down here at 4.83 now. Now, part of this might be due to the fact that the CPIs always have lagging housing. So if housing was actually more expensive, but then everything else started to come down, it might have started to, or it might have offset the real peak of inflation. And now we're actually seeing housing be a lot cheaper, but that's not showing up in the data quite yet, which could be why we're still, 1.5 points below the CPI. So this could be part of the reason that the market's up here today. And I'll get to the crypto news here in a second. Another reason that crypto might be up a little bit or looking a little bit better is because Silvergate still isn't dead. This is kind of a long saga. This has been happening for months, but apparently there are some internal rumors still swirling about potential bailouts and current remaining deposits. They're saying that they're hearing the word yet a lot. This is a pretty in the know Twitter account. They've been posting about Binance, FTX, Silvergate, all the big scandals in the crypto world, and they've been pretty accurate with it so far. So I personally think Silvergate will fall. They'll go bankrupt, but who knows? Maybe they can pull something out of their hat and be able to get bought out or bailed out. Some other news that I think is pretty good news, actually. Bitcoin and crypto exchange Kraken is going to launch their own bank very soon, according to their chief legal officer. I think this is pretty positive as well. If you remember, they had to shut down their staking. They had to pay a $30 million fine. So that was probably a huge hit to their business because staking is very profitable. And now they're going and they're basically trying to become as legitimate as possible. If they're becoming a legitimate bank, then, what can the U.S. do to them? They can, sure, they can still regulate them, but I think they'll be a little bit more lenient, or they're saying, hey, basically we're doing as much as we possibly can. So maybe they'll be like the new FTX. I want to say that carefully, but the good side of FTX, where it seemed like they were actually working with regulators. Maybe they can be the new leading exchange to work with regulators here in the US, along with probably Coinbase as well. Some other good news, MasterCard has launched a Bitcoin and crypto card that makes fiat payments using cryptocurrency balances. So this is pretty positive. I mean, it's still, it looks like a debit card. I think this would still be, and maybe it's a credit card, but I'm assuming debit card based on how this is laid out. I think this would be pretty positive. I mean, if you could put your crypto on a card, and then assuming that it was safe, right, and the keys were maybe your own, or there's some safe way of holding the crypto, I think this would be a nice way of being able to actually use your crypto a little bit easier. Of course, you can use wallets, but this is, I think, a little bit easier for the masses. If they could buy like preloaded Bitcoin debit cards, I mean, that'd be pretty sweet. I would buy that for, my loved ones, buy and load $100 worth of Bitcoin on it. Maybe there's a $1 fee or something like that, but a lot of the time, by the time that they might actually use it, it could be, $120, $150, $200, depending on how long they wait. So it could be a cool way of spending your crypto that would be more accessible to the masses. And recently, there was an article that I was reading that said MasterCard and Visa were kind of putting their crypto plans on the back burner, but I think this is a huge step in the right direction. They said that they were doing that because of all the exchanges blowing up in the bear market, but it seems like they're still going full steam ahead into this crypto narrative. And then we have to go to the bad news, right? And we will talk about actually Tesla here in a second and some selling that's happening in crypto. But crypto exchange BuyBit is suspending USD deposits. So they announced this on Saturday that they're adding that withdrawals through wire transfers, including SWIFT, will be halted March 10. So if you want to get your crypto out, you have a few more days. But or if you want to get your money out, I should say, your USD out. But you can still transfer. So they say you can continue to deposit and withdraw crypto to and from wallet addresses and fund purchases through credit cards and other payment methods. So it's really just due to some problems, I think, with their processing partner, they say here. I don't think it's a huge concern. It sounds like a lot of these other kind of offshore exchanges that are getting the clamp down by the US, and I'm guessing just like Binance, right? There aren't too many people that use BuyBit for USD deposits and withdrawals, and you could just transfer the crypto off anyways. You could just buy crypto and then transfer it. So I don't think that's going to be a huge problem, but it's something to pay attention to if you're someone that does use BuyBit and you do want to take withdrawals off, or you want to take USD off. You might want to do it sooner rather than later. But BuyBit, along with a lot of these other crypto exchanges, I think are these leverage crypto exchanges, I think are really profitable. So I think they're going to be fine long term. Something that I want to cover with Tesla, and then a little bit more on crypto. Tesla just reduced their Model S and X in the US. So they reduced their Model S all-wheel drive by 5,000 along with their Model S Plaid. Then they reduced the Model X all-wheel drive by 10,000 and their Plaid the same amount. So now there's some question over whether this is due to a demand problem or whether this is due to them just passing on the cost savings to consumers and customers. Personally, I think it may be a little bit of both, but I did see a chart, and I apologize because I don't have it pulled up here, but you can see the online vehicle inventory numbers for these different models, and the Model S's had been steadily going down before they reduced the prices here. It's not like they were going up and they had so much inventory that they had to sell, right? It doesn't seem like that's what's happening. Maybe they're doing some kind of revamp, or they're upgrading production lines or something like that to be able to pump out a lot more volume, and they're just trying to get rid of this old inventory. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's going to be fine for Tesla over the long term. Tesla isn't moving too much today. They're actually down maybe about 1%, while the rest of the market's up 1%. So I think this is weighing on the stock a little bit, but this is such a small amount of their volume anyways. I would not be worried if you're a Tesla holder, and I'm a Tesla holder. I'm not worried about this. That is what their plan is to do over time, is to lower the price of their vehicles, and that's what's going to happen. Now, One last thing to cover in crypto land, we did see some negative, or we saw some net outflows from institutional investors this week. You can see I think it was about 17 million flowing out. Most of it coming out of Bitcoin, a little bit going into some of these altcoins, a little bit coming out of Binance, and then a little bit going into short Bitcoin as well. So mostly just institutions taking a little bit off the table. Keep in mind that they've still put in a good amount this year, 126 million, and the assets under management are so much larger than what they just took out. This is just like a rounding error, right? About $30 billion worth, and they took out 17 million. So just a small little fluctuation, but that could cause a little bit of fear in the market. I don't think it really will. You can see, though, 4 weeks of outflows basically after some big inflows at the beginning of the year. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I really do appreciate you watching and subscribing to the channel, getting all the future content, and I try to publish this as quickly as possible. Obviously, sometimes life just comes up, but I will continue to give you updates. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check out moomoo, where you can get up to 17 free stocks. It helps me out a lot, and you can get some free money. Try out a new platform. There's also a link down there to Margex in case you want to trade crypto on leverage. Just be careful. Only do that if you're an experienced trader and you know the risks. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.